What it do, Durag Nation? Huge day for Marvel Rivals. The latest event is live, offering players a ton of free rewards for just playing the game, and I'll go through the full mini pass so you can see if it's worth buying the premium version. The new game mode, Resource Rumble, is also available now through Quick Match, so players can test the mode to get it ready for competitive. And the devs finally dropped their video breaking down the matchmaking system in order to shut down rumors the game uses the sinister EOMM. We got a lot to cover, so as usual, I'll respect your time and quickly tell you everything you need to know. First, Hulk smash that like button to share the news, or change it to dislike if the video was dog water. The new update went live at 5 AM my time and has a ton of stuff. The new patch added bug fixes for Blade, Hulk, Groot, and Star-Lord, with Blade in particular previously having a lot of issues related to his dash, which are now fixed. That's in addition to the buff he got in the balance patch that aims to improve his lifesteal. I tested it out and it for sure feels much better and should help him do better in 1v1s, but it's still much worse than the version Wolverine has, so you need to be careful about fighting more than one character at a time in melee range. A special emote bundle will also be added to the shop tomorrow, along with the new Symbiote Iron Man skin. The dual emote is actually a really cool addition to the game that is obviously very popular in Fortnite. This one is called My Baby and Me and expands on the lore of Jeff and Emma, allowing players to fulfill their dream of getting their head pet by Emma Frost. The patch also added the highly anticipated new game mode, Resource Rumble. They previously dropped gameplay for it this week, but it's pretty simple if you missed it. You're just capturing 2 different points to build resources and then fighting for control of one final area. Losing control of that final area causes your resources to be transferred to the other team. So the first 2 points kinda don't matter at all as long as you win in the Rumble area. The new mode also gave us a preview of a new costume. Fans noticed the loading screen shows us an Abyssal Flame version of Luna Snow. Her body part symbiote, part ice, with a hint of the Phoenix Force. I thought it was going to be impossible to get Luna players to change her summer outfit, but this one might be able to do it. The latest combat chest is also active, Ancient Powers Awaken, which is the follow-up to the previous one, Queen's Codex, that launched day 1 of the new season. The highlight of the pass are the 2 legendary skins and MVP animations for Phoenix Fist, easily one of the best in the game, as well as the Abyssal Flame Venom. Which comes with new voice lines that are just Eddie Brock instead of Venom.
The other guy's been doing a lot of talking for me. You remember old Eddie?
The Mantis emote referencing the Cat Shadow meme and Iron Fist are on page 1, along with 4 free items, which include chrono tokens for the battle pass. Page 2 has the free Old Man Doctor Strange costume, inspired by his appearance in Immortal Hulk, the best defense #1 in 2018. The other free items are chrono tokens, a Phoenix Chi emote for Iron Fist, and a spray and nameplate for Strange. The premium items are the Venom the Last Dance nameplate and a talking emote for Abyssal Flame Venom with Eddie's voice.
The other guy's been doing a lot of talking for me. You remember old Eddie?
The final page offers unstable molecules so you can buy new VFX and skin recolors, a Reborn King in Black and Queen in Black spray, and this funny Old Man Doctor Strange emote. The premium items are a motion Abyssal Flame Venom nameplate, as well as the actual skin and MVP animation. This new mini pass has 1 less page than the Queen's Codex, does not include any lore entries that expand the story, and is priced at 300 more Lattice at 990, the same price as the full battle pass for season 3. So whether or not you buy it will depend heavily on how much you want those premium items, because in terms of overall value, it's not as good as the Queen's Codex and is obviously not even close to the season 3 battle pass. Let me know in the comments if you're going to just stick to the free tier or upgrade to premium. The biggest story today though is the devs finally dropped the video on matchmaking. Last week they surprisingly addressed claims that their matchmaking system uses EOMM. Basically, many players, most of the recent negative Steam reviews in fact, and even top players like Necros have been complaining about the matchmaking quality, saying it's EOMM and not skill based. Basically, they believe instead of putting you in matches with people around your skill level like other competitive games, they claim Rivals instead intentionally puts low skilled players on your team if it sees you win too many games in a row, because the system thinks you'll play less if you win too much. This forces you to need to completely dominate games in order to avoid massive losing streaks streaks, but the game will give you better teammates after too many losses, with the overall goal of keeping you around a 50% win rate. While the devs denied these claims and, as promised, released a video pulling the curtain back about how their matchmaking system works. Lead combat designer Ziyang hosted the video from the Rivals office in China to break it all down. The full video is 18 minutes long, but I'll be summarizing it for you. The first section of the video is on how points are calculated in ranked, which is interesting, but not what people are here for. The matchmaking section kicks off by explaining that because people are in different time zones with different connection speeds, the challenge is balancing fast queue times with fair matches. When you start up a match, the system first looks at your chosen server location and tries to match you with somebody on the same server. As the wait time increases, it starts looking through higher and lower ranks in order to get you into a match as quickly as possible. They cap this expansion to prevent unbalanced games, but obviously the system is not perfect, as you all know from experience, with so many games ending in steamrolls. And Ziyang actually addresses this. Once the system finds 12 players in the acceptable competitive range, the match is set. Next, they arrange the teams in order to reduce the differences in their competitive scores, so you don't have all the people with the highest scores on the same team. Team matchmaking, or when you queue up with your friends, is based on team size. A 6-player team will only be matched with another 6-player team. This can take the longest to find matches for. 5-player stacks are not allowed to protect solo players, but for 2 to 4-player stacks, the system will start expanding as wait time increases. So if a 4-player team queues and the system can't quickly find them another 4-player team, it will start looking for other combinations of stacks. The longer the wait time, the more the system broadens the range of competitive scores, which can result in games seeming unbalanced if this reaches the upper limit. They could tighten these rules to prevent this, but then that would result in much longer wait times, which players would for sure complain about. So it's a tricky situation, and having larger stacks makes this happen more often. This is the reason why in season 3.5, players in higher ranks can no longer play with 4 or 6 people, but the devs have promised to continue exploring new solutions to this problem. They also gave a visual example of what this would look like if 2 diamonds and a platinum player started a competitive match together and the system couldn't quickly find them a matching team based on their chosen server, team size of 3, and average rank of diamond 3. In this example, after 5 minutes, the system would find them a 3 stack with an average of platinum 1, a 2 stack of diamond 2, and 4 solo players, 3 of them diamond, 1 platinum. The system tries to divide them in the fairest way possible, but as you see, there is still a gap in rank, particularly for the solo players. They further gave an example of the solo player on side A who was in platinum insta-locking DPS instead of filling on support, while the solo diamond 1 player on side B makes the correct choice and fills support. Ziyang then once again denied that Rivals uses EOMM and addressed some community feedback about why matches feel unbalanced, which, to sum it up, seems mostly tied to team size and getting people into matches quickly. Also, of course, skill issue of players not being able to play more than one role. They aim to address the last part by adding more interesting vanguards and strategists in the future. He also explained that win-loss streaks were actually just simple probability. You will eventually go on a loss streak, and you'll of course go on win streaks, especially if you're good. But it's a team game, and factors like stacking, playing during off hours can limit the pool of players and throw off the matchmaking balance of scores. I think the explanation overall was really good, and this makes much more sense than the EOMM stuff. Though I was disappointed they didn't bring up placement matches, which is a popular community suggestion that would prevent players from playing in ranks they're not supposed to be in. I thought it was a missed opportunity, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think of the devs' response. Do you believe in EOMM, and has this changed your mind? Or do you still think the matchmaking is bad and Rivals is doing it on purpose? Let me know in the comments, but if you're not done with the superhero news, we just found out DC is looking to give Marvel some competition with a brand new Superman game. Click the video on screen to learn more. And of course, a huge shout out to everyone supporting me on Patreon.